In 1971, Martha Graham spoke deprecatingly and with winning frankness to an interviewer. Among the 3 daughters of Dr. George Graham, she had not, she said, been the pretty one. Mary was blonde and gorgeous. Geordie had curly auburn hair and big, beautiful eyes. And then there was little old slit-eyed me. But it was, of course, Martha, the eldest of the 3, whose cheekbones photographers came to adore, and who, as a dance artist adventuring into new, somber, and challenging territory, was often caricatured in her skeletal glory by newspaper cartoonists. In any case, it was never conventional beauty that made people look twice at Graham. Even when she was a rather plain little girl by the standards of the day, she had a sense of herself and could summon an imperious manner when she thought a situation called for it. Disliking the experience of being on a train, 4- or 5-year-old Martha informed the conductor, "I'm Dr. Graham's daughter, and I want out of here." She was proud of the fact that her dainty little mother, Jane Beers, usually Jenny or Jeannie, could trace her lineage back to Miles Standish, the well-born military officer who arrived on the Mayflower in 1620, hired to help organize that first British colony on American soil. Miss Beers, the eldest of 3 sisters, would have been about 22 years old in 1893 when she eloped with George Graham, 14 years older than she and a covert ladies' man. The family was strictly Presbyterian. The daughters, Martha, born 1894, Mary, born 1896, and Georgia, born 1900, attended Sunday school. Martha even taught there at one point. On the Sabbath, the only toys they were allowed to play with were brown and white blocks with biblical scenes on them, which the often rebellious eldest daughter detested and declined to touch. In the many interviews Graham gave over the decades, she polished the memories that remained the most pungent to her and that could be said to have influenced her work. She divided her childhood from her birth until she came of age into 2 distinct parts, the first spent in her father's hometown of Allegheny, Pennsylvania, swallowed up by Pittsburgh in 1907, and the second in Santa Barbara, California, where the Graham family moved when she was 14. It was not just her metamorphosis from little girl to adolescent that she stressed, but the differences between life in the 2 cities and the birthmarks that both left on her art. Many of the dances that later made her famous drew on the dualities of restraint and freedom, decorum and wildness that molded her bisected early years.